It's awesome. I mean, I'm going hard, and I'm going hard, and I'm going hard. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. Did you do that at least at your Deadhead show?
No. Dead and Company started at 6. They were off the stage.
Oh, because you guys are old. They know everybody's old, so they got to get you out of there. Yo. What's up, everybody? It's Chris Sims. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned, and we are here. Yes, that's right. It's me, Chris Sims, and this deadhead dummy you're looking at right here is the Stugotz. The Stugotz. He is hosting the show today, and I am grateful to have him, even though he is a deadhead in more ways than one. But what's up, dude? You the man, and thanks for hosting the show. And you take over, man. Drive the ship from here on out.
I'm grateful to be here, Sims. I can go without you calling me a dummy. Like, I get enough of that from Lebitard. I certainly don't need it from you. I consider you to be a friend of mine. Unlike Dan, I consider you to be a friend.
Right.
Man.
Well, friends take shots at each other, okay? And you know you do that to me too. So deal with it a little bit, all right?
I will. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. We will get to the Week 1 headlines here in just a second. Chris Sims sends way too many texts over the weekend about preseason week number 1 football. You and I have had this discussion. We are friends, man. I care about you. I'm a little bit older than you, and I keep telling you, like, hey, why do you have to send so many texts preseason week number 1? Spend time with your wife. Spend time with your kids. That shit is important, man. Stop watching preseason football. What's the matter with you?
There's plenty of time. I've spent enough time with them. What are you talking about? I've been with them so much. I need some football to get the hell away from them. And even with that, they're sitting next to me. At least the wife is, for the most part, why I'm doing all this. But yeah, that was your first taste into a little bit of how Chris Sims, the podcaster, works, of the streaming consciousness as I'm watching a game. Yeah, as I've told you in the past, I text her kind of my thoughts as the games are going along. I do that. Then, I copy, paste, and I send them to you and producer Matt Casey. And I'm obsessed. You know I'm a psycho that way. I mean, I felt like I had no purpose in life until this weekend. So it was great to have football back and sit on the couch and watch it.
Really? You found your purpose again?
I did. Man, sitting on the couch, especially right now, this time of the year, because it's, like you said, it's preseason. So I'm not ready like week 1 NFL. I'm sitting in the barn, one of my favorite spots, drinky, smoky, I'm watching the games at night, doing all of that. So, I mean, that was living, man. Good summer night. I mean, you can't beat that. I enjoyed myself this weekend.
No, it was a great weekend. First off, the notion that people reject preseason football, like they're not into it. I don't care. Football on your television screen is a good thing. I don't care if it's preseason or not. And if it is preseason, Sims, it means we're 1 week closer. Like, as these games come up, we're 1 week closer to getting to the real thing. And so I love preseason football. I don't like it second quarter on, but first quarter, pretty good. Not bad.
I hear you. You're right. Or if it's second quarter on, you want it to be like a young quarterback who you go, ooh, let's see what he has, right? I know he's not playing against the starters, but does he pass the look test? Is he capable of like looking pretty good to where, okay, now he's set himself up next week to maybe make the next step or jump that he might need to be a starter, whatever. It's about the rookies. It's about new players in new places. It is about guys that are fighting for their lives to make the football team, right? There's 5 or 6 or 7 spots that truly are up for grabs on an NFL roster where, they got most of the team figured out, but those last 7, 8 spots, no, there's real competition going on. So that's what I like about all of it. And Stugotz, with this year and what we just saw this weekend, I mean, almost every game had starters playing in it. Not maybe both teams playing their starters, but if you go through the whole list of games this weekend, one of the 2 teams, if not both teams, other than the Rams-Cowboys game, I think was the only one, had starters playing. So there was something tangible to look at and go, okay, this is the first look of my team this year and what they might be, and hopefully the potential's real that way.
How do you feel about that many starters playing? And what is meaningless football? I mean, it has meaning from the standpoint of you want continuity, you want guys to get reps before the regular season starts, but you're also risking injury, Chris. And so how do you feel about guys playing, especially at the quarterback spot, guys playing in the preseason?
I feel like you got to play, right? And I had said this, and I don't know if I said it to you last week when I was on God Bless Football with you and your crew and doing all that, but I had gotten the feeling going into the weekend weekend, and I'd said this on Florio with PFT for sure, it felt like starters were going to play more in the preseason. I had too many conversations with coaches in the offseason, even leading up to training camp, that were kind of talking about it a little bit. Hey, I might play my guys more this year. Hey, Sims, what's your thought about playing in the preseason? And I'm old school. And I think one of the reasons we've had sloppy football and more injuries than we're accustomed to in September is because we're not getting enough practice time, callus time, hitting, tackling in this part of the year to play your best football in September. So I understand the risk there, and you want to be smart about it, but I do think there is some value, especially if your team's younger or got a lot of new moving parts, to play guys and get them out there. You know, the rules are so crazy now, you don't get a chance to play real football only a few times, and I think coaches wanted to take advantage of that.
Give the audience the single most exciting thing, whether it was a player, a team, something, the most exciting thing you saw. We'll get to the headlines in a second here, but the most exciting thing that Chris Sims witnessed over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, there were some good ones here. Let me see. That's a really good question, and you're catching me off guard. I think here was, honestly, and this might sound like scapegoat answer, but I promise you it's not. Watching Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the Bengals come out in the first preseason game, right, Thursday night there, and just go boom, 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 boom. We're playing. We're not going to start slow this year. Watch the hell out. We're on a mission, and we're ready to score 30 points a game if we got it. We'll carry the football team. I think that's probably what got me more excited than anything, just watching that and watching them attack it, and Joe Burrow and just the way he looked and all that. I would say that was up there. And then we had some of the rookie quarterbacks, of course, that excited me as well.
I'm glad you brought up the Bengals, Chris. They might have the best offense in the history of the NFL this year. I'm not certain it can overcome a lousy defense, but that offense might go down as one of the best offenses in the history of the NFL. It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. I got faith in Al Golden, the new defensive coordinator there. I do think he's good. I think their talent is a little better than people realize, but it's not proven yet, so people aren't going to, hang their hat on it yet. But, agreed with everything you're saying, Stugotz. I mean, it could be special. And it seems like they have the O-line settled now to where they could be able to run the ball. We saw what Chase Brown did at running back. Joe Burrow made comments after the game like, we're going to use him this year, and they should because he's a player. And even though it was the Eagles' second-team defense and all that, I saw a look in which I liked from the Bengals' offensive line. They moved that second-team Eagles' defensive line. They made some holes, and, of course, Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, like you're talking about, man. That's a special crew right there, and they have the potential to do special things this year.
All right, let's get to the week one headlines. Real or relax? I'm playing real or relax with Chris Sims on a Monday morning. I mean, this is
welcome. I know you're a little nervous. Well, you're not ready for this. Are you ready? You're a little nervous coming on NBC. I could feel it before we came on.
Listen, I'm not nervous. I've never had a pre-show meeting. No one's ever sent me a rundown. There are too many voices in my head. There are too many things to get.
Yes.
I just like to let it fly.
Yes.
I'd still be talking about you wanting to fire Aaron Boone if I had it my way.
Yeah, well, this ain't the California Penal League, all right? This is the big leagues here, okay? This is NBC. We meet. Listen, we don't just let you just go on and riff, okay? They got to make sure you don't ruin the company before they put you on air, all right?
The big leagues. I worked as a worldwide leader in sports for 10 years.
Well, hey, this is NBC. We're in a different class, okay?
All right, Cam Ward made his debut, the rookie from Miami. Pretty decent, 5 of 8, 67 yards, Chris. He understood the assignment. Here is the headline, which is a laugh out loud headline from Fox. He understood the assignment in the preseason debut. Cam Ward did. Real or relax with Cam Ward?
Well, no, it's real. It's real. I like that all the way.
Is it?
Yes. Well, I mean, listen.
If the Titans could redraft right now, would they take Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward?
You're funny. I knew I was going to have to deal with crap like that from you right there. No, I think they'd go Cam Ward. I think so.
Okay.
But it is a funny headline to your point, right? Like, he understood the assignment not to piss down his leg as the number 1 pick in the draft, right? I love Cam Ward. You know that, just talking in the whole pre-draft process. But I don't know how you can't watch the game the other night and start go, ooh, there's something special about Cam Ward. The ball pops off of his hand in a way that only special quarterbacks and throwers have. Even his incompletions, the ball went where he wanted it to go. It was tight coverage. It was bang, bang. One guy kind of dropped it in tight coverage. But like on target, how quickly he can get out of his hands, and there's the way he can just flick it, Stugotz.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
It looks like it's just like a flick of the wrist, and the ball goes 30 yards through the air. I was impressed with it. Again, it's preseason, like you said. It's early. It's not going to be like complicated defenses, not a ton of starters. You're running a basic part of your offense, but the big thing is the look test. And to me, he looks comfortable, and his arm looks like it's a special NFL arm. That's why I'm excited, and that's why I say real for that one all the way.
It looks easy for him. I'm with you on that. It does. Cam Ward looks like he belongs on an NFL field. When you're looking at these rookie quarterbacks in their debuts, like what are some of the things you're looking for? The confidence, the poise, like what else are you looking for?
I think it's that right there. And then just the physical attributes, right? And I know we're going to hit on a few other guys here in a minute where, hey, this guy moved better than I thought he might be able to move coming out of college. This guy's arm is good, but it doesn't pop like wow to me. And we'll hit on all of that. But yeah, it's more about that. And I think the first few things you said, it's that comfort. It's like, wait, are they making the things that are supposed to be easy look easy, right? Instead of being that nervous rookie that's like, oh my gosh, and he's jumping, he misses a throw that's 5 feet away from him or anything like that. Cam Ward is so smooth that way. You could tell he's a great leader. And here's the other thing, the inkling about it too, just as far as watching the game. Yeah, the look test, but I like listening to the announcers. I do, because they usually tell you stuff behind the curtain a little bit in the preseason. And the way like Rondé Barber, he was talking about Cam Ward in the game, not telling you how excited the Titans are about him, but I was out at practice field. Holy cow, his arm. Oh my gosh, right? When Rondé Barber says stuff like that, yeah, it holds water to me. He's seen some great quarterbacks through his time. So that's another inkling to go, wait, what I'm saying is real. Rondé saw it in person. It must be real. And I think those are the kind of the things you're hearing from Tennessee right now, that he is very real. He's the guy. They got one there.
You talked about, quarterbacks doing things that you're not expecting, things that would surprise you. Jaxson Dart did it for me because I knew he could throw the football, Chris. I didn't realize that he could move around in the pocket like that. I didn't realize he could run like that. I didn't realize Jaxson Dart was such a good athlete. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm with you here. I did not expect him to look like that type of athlete either, right? I was coming out, I went, yeah, he moves well. I get it. I like it. But, sometimes it was just like the parting of the Red Sea. I wondered how fast he was altogether. One of the things I didn't love about him coming out is just the way he kind of hopped around the pocket and moved that way to navigate, just to get out of way of pressure to make a throw or whatever. But, man, Stugotz, I'm with you all the way. To me, the number one surprise of what I saw in that football game, I knew we could manage an offense and make the right read and do stuff like that. But the athleticism popped for sure. Taking off, running, doing like that, like I was impressed by that. The throwing, everything else, the running of the offense, really good. Am I going to sit here and tell you I'm wowed by Jaxson Dart's arm and stuff like that? No. I mean, you saw enough of that game. He really only made 2 downfield throws the whole game. Everything else was kind of boom, right here, quick, get it out of your hand. And I'm not faulting him for that. But, again, it's not going to be that easy as we go on. People aren't just going to be open 3 yards down the field and you're going to be able to move an offense like that. At some point, it's going to be, can you make some wow throws? Can you make those big plays that we expect out of a first-round quarterback? I think he's going to make all the slam dunk you're supposed to make them type of throws. Yeah. I just want to see more wow throws from him. And he had 2, like I said, the touchdown throw was nice.
Give him some time. He's 12 and 19, 154, a touchdown. He has great quarterback hair, and he has a great name. I mean, what else do you want?
He does. Seriously. He does. He's got New York Star written all over him. So I'm pumped about that. And then, hey, listen, the other guy in the first round, Abdul Carter, I know we're sitting here talking about the quarterbacks, but I got to hit on that just for a second and how awesome he looked in his debut. I mean, to me, Abdul Carter, just from the 6 snaps I saw, I just went like, Stugotz, he's already the best pass rusher on the football team. I don't need to see much more. It's real. The way he explodes off the ball, he got to play against the first-team offensive line in Buffalo. Deion Dawkins, I guarantee, walked away from that game going, wow, he didn't get a sack on me, but he's going to be a problem. And then he almost got a sack on the right guard on a 3rd down. So, yeah, he did show out to me. And I'm excited. If there's one thing about that Giant football team, hey, Jaxson Dart, the potential there, we'll see as it goes. But that D-line is one thing I look at and go, no, that's going to be real. I can promise you that in New York.
You have found your purpose, man. I mean, it was one preseason game. You have him as the best pass rusher on the team.
Kayvon Thibodeau's good.
Yeah, he's really good, Chris.
He is. He's good. He's good. Right. He's not really good. If he was really good, I don't know if they draft Abdul Carter, right? Okay. But they got Brian Burns on the other side, who's really damn good, to steal your phrase there. Dexter Lawrence, Roy Robertson Harris is another guy to watch out for. So, yeah, they got some things there that look like old-school Giants D-lines, whether it was the 80s, the 90s, the Michael Strahan era, and that's a start. That's for sure. So I'm excited as a Giant fan. But, yeah, the Jaxson Dart thing, he's a backup for now. And if he continues to do what he's doing there, I don't know if he becomes a starter week 1, but he's going to start early on in the season as soon as the Giants or Russell Wilson slip up. That's for sure.
Right. Would you be surprised if Jaxson Dart didn't start a game this year? That means Russell Wilson's having a big year and the Giants are having a good year.
Yeah,
right?
I would. Exactly right. I'd be shocked if he didn't start a game. I think that's the way to say that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And the Giants got a tough schedule, and we'll see if they can, manage it and win some games early on to where Russell Wilson can keep Jaxson Dart off the bench. But as we talked about, the defense is good. We got to see the rest of that offense with Malik Neighbors, that O-line, and see what they're all about, I think, before we make too many big proclamations.
Chris, if I was ranking top 5 quarterbacks after preseason week number 1, I think 3 of the Giant quarterbacks would be in the top 5. I mean, Jameis had a good game. DeVito had a good game. That offense was running, man. It was clicking.
If there was 2 themes I took from the weekend, it's one, starters played more than we realized. And the other thing is, I think that just popped out to me, and I'm saying this because it's the Giants are in this category. It's just such a big year for so many coaches and teams where you just go, yeah, I mean, it's a Brand Daboll, Joe Shane, you're fired if things don't go well this year.
Right.
Sorry, right? You feel like it's a big year for McDermott. We know the Ravens, it's like Super Bowl or bust, right? The Steelers with Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. Denver, it's a big year. Bo Nix, second year. Cincinnati Bengals. The Indianapolis Colts, you go through that. Their ass is on the hot seat. The Miami Dolphins are on the hot seat. So I feel like it's like either hot seat or first-year head coach who's trying to get his team off to a good start and impress the fans. We got a lot of that going on in the NFL, and I think that's going to add to an interesting preseason and regular season.
Chris, the big story over the weekend was Shedeur Sanders. I felt really good for that kid. He looked like he belonged. He looked relaxed. He looked like the moment wasn't too big for him.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, if there were eyeballs, a lot of eyeballs on one game over the weekend, it was this game because people wanted to see if Shedeur Sanders would be good. And not only was he good, dare I say he was great, Chris Sims. And again, looked relaxed, looked poised, looked like he belonged.
That's it.
In the NFL. And I found myself with a big smile feeling really good for Shedeur Sanders.
How could you not? I mean, one thing he does is he just busts the whole, I'm not a 5th-round pick. That's for sure, right? Yep. The league messed up by letting him fall that far down. Now, some of that's his own doing, and he could have handled the pre-draft process a little bit better in some ways. Sure, I get that. But damn, he showed on Friday night he belongs, right? And he's got something to say in this Cleveland quarterback controversy and this whole situation, debacle, dysfunction, whatever the hell you want to talk about. But like you said it, Shedeur, first off, he's a gamer. That's one thing. He's one of those guys, and I played with guys like this in the NFL at times where, maybe practice isn't always perfect. Maybe it's not crisp all the way. But when they get out in the game, it's like they're more relaxed than practice. And Shedeur Sanders continues to pass that test for me in every way. Says the right thing on the podium all the time. Always has the right message, not only for himself, the fans, but the locker room. And like you like the calmness, the poise. I think that's what jumps out to you about him, right? I mean, people around him in the pocket. He's just unfazed by that. He slides, he moves. I said today with Florio on Pro Football Talk, he kind of reminds me of Brady with the way he slides and moves in the pocket, right? It's not like, oh, wow, it's so quick. It's kind of just smooth. It moves. He moves just to the right spot. He stays in the throwing position. He made a number of great reads, and he moved that offense, and damn, he looked good, and damn, he made that whole thing a lot more confusing for the Cleveland Browns, which was what he was supposed to do. It was very impressive by Shedeur Sanders.
So you're telling us that you think this is real, that Shedeur Sanders is real. And so what do the Browns do? If Shedeur continues to play like this, what are the Browns going to do? They have 7 quarterbacks.
I do think it's real, right? And again, we want to see go to the next step. I understand that it wasn't all perfect. They punted the first 2 times they had the ball, right? But yeah, I do think it's real from the standpoint of he can run an NFL offense. He knows how to move the ball. He sees the field well. He doesn't flinch in the pocket. That's what I love about Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he doesn't care if he's going to get hit or if the walls are closing in. He doesn't care. And let me just say, too, why I say it's real is because, one, as your first preseason game, rookie, you're the starter. That's tough. I know people might go, well, it's only preseason. No, there's a lot of pressure on you. It's an unknown. You haven't done it yet. It's the NFL. It's different ball than college football. So the way he handled that whole situation and then the way he played on top of that, no, I think if he continues to do this, he's going to make things very hard on the Cleveland Browns organization to where the fan base and everybody, the national media, is all going to be like, well, who gives a crap? We know what Joe Flacco is. Okay, Kenny Pickett, yeah, okay, there's potential there, but he's got a hurt hamstring. Dylan Gabriel, blah, blah, blah. Shedeur gets better and better week in and week out. The Browns aren't going to the Super Bowl this year, and he could put some pressure on them to make him the week 1 starter. I do think he can do that.
I have a tweet here from @Moro972. I'm a Shedeurian. Would Shedeur get first-team reps next week?
I would think.
Has to,
I would think so. Yes. Not that he has to get every one of them, right? But yeah, I would think, and especially if Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel are still dealing with these injuries, which are odd enough in itself, right? Hamstring injuries for 2 quarterbacks. 1 quarterback with a hamstring injury is weird enough. 2, I mean, Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Michael Vick. I've never heard them pulling a hamstring in practice. So that's a weird one in general. But they cracked the door open. And now Mr. Clutch Shedeur Sanders is going to try to make something happen and take advantage of that opportunity. And yeah, I think with the way he played and showed himself there, they're going to have to start infusing him with the first and second team a little bit more. The team will think the coaches and the organization are crazy and not trying to win if they don't do that. So, yeah, I would think Shedeur, gets bumped up the pecking order a little bit after that showing.
All right, Chris. Tyler Shough had a good performance in his first action in preseason week number 1. Here's the headline from NOLA.com. How Tyler Shough outperformed Spencer Rattler. Real or relax on Tyler Shough? No,
I'm going to say that one's real, too. I know that's 3 in a row here with real, right? I might and I don't know if we got the Jaxson Dart totally, where that one way I maybe go relax a little bit, right?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to say,
the brakes,
okay. Right?
They all can't be real, Chris.
They can't all be real. I like what I saw. Again, I do, but I'd like to see a little bit more here. Now, when it comes to, and then Jaxson Dart's being held to Russell Wilson, the starting quarterback. Tyler Shough's in a little different situation with a guy in Spencer Rattler who didn't win a game last year as a starting quarterback, and I don't think anybody looked at him to be the answer long-term for the New Orleans Saints. And yes, he definitely looked better than Spencer Rattler. And on top of that, you and I talk about this from time to time. Teams kind of show you a lot of times what they want. And the way the Saints called the game for Tyler Shough compared to Spencer Rattler and the amount of reps and plays they gave him, to me was an inkling that that's who they want to be the guy, right? They were, hey, Spencer, yeah, we're starting you because we don't want our rookie to have to start the first preseason game of the year like Shedeur Sanders is. That's tough. Let's get everybody going, playing, feeling comfortable at the game, and then put the guy we want in there. And then we'll open up the offense a little bit more and tack down the field. Shough looked very good. Shough looked really good. He did. He's a good athlete. He got a nice motion. He put the ball where he was supposed to. He threw a bad pick six, but okay, you're going to do that. He also made a nice, awesome double move, long touchdown pass, but certainly looked more impressive than Spencer Rattler, who I just don't look at as a starting quarterback in the NFL when all's said and done, Stugotz.
How important is it for Shough to have a guy like Kellen Moore as his coach?
Yeah, well, yeah, a quarterback, right, who's played in the league, understands a little bit what the young guy is going through to the trials and tribulations, so he can bring them along that way. Knows how to call plays and kind of understands what his quarterback likes to do and doesn't like to do. Yeah, that's extremely important. I mean, we've seen, hey, ex-quarterbacks usually know how to bring along quarterbacks when it comes to developing them. All right, that's usually where their strength is, as compared to a defensive coach sometimes where we know it can be a little all over the place, right? Maybe where like Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson had it and all that. But, yeah, I think it's definitely a positive for Tyler Shough, and we'll be shocked, like absolutely shocked out of everybody we talked here. We know Cam Ward's starting week 1. Here's the other guy out of all the rookies that I would be shocked if he's not starting in week 2. They drafted him to start him. They got nobody else, and they got to see what he's made of for the future of their organization.
Sometimes you see a guy in college and he looks bigger, he looks stronger, he looks more athletic than everyone else on the field. And you say to yourself, I wonder if that will translate over to the NFL, where he's playing with guys who are all his size, who are all strong, who are all great athletes. It translated for Jalen Milroe, man. Like, I thought that at Alabama, and then I saw him over the weekend on an NFL field, and man, he looks the part. He looks like he belongs. He was 6 of 10, 61 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran the ball for 40 yards on 3 attempts, 38 yards to be exact. Social media erupts as former Alabama quarterback shines. This, according to Roll Tide Wire. Real or relax? Tell me to relax on Jalen Milroe, because I think he might be starting by week 8.
Well, this is a tough one here, right? This is a tough one where, like, his talent and his potential are real, but as we sit here right now, I'm still going to say relax, right? But I understand all that you're saying, right? I don't want to be I'm not trying to be a hater on Jalen Milroe at all. I mean, he's an Adonis. You like you just talked about. He's an Adonis. He can fly. He's got 3 rockets up his ass. Like, yeah, in the NFL, I know he wasn't playing against starters. It doesn't matter. When he took off, you just went, holy crap, is that a running back or is that a quarterback? Like, it's that type of speed. So it's special that way. Where I also was excited is the consistency of his throwing. He got lucky. Should have thrown 1 interception. Probably should have been a pick 6. He threw like a little comeback route out to his left side. But other than that, the ball went where he intended it to go, right? And that was one of my big concerns, because his mechanics, when you look at college football, especially at the end of last year, they were all over the place. And I'm telling you, he would miss the broadside of the barn more than he would hit it at the end of the year. And he really lost his way that way. But it looks like Seattle settled him down that way. They're not perfect, right? He's still not perfect that way. But for the most part, the ball was generally in the area you want it to be as a receiver and a quarterback combination. That's what I was excited for. But again, too, it was basics on offense. It was basic routes he was throwing to. So, yeah, that's where I would just like to see a little bit more. Again, sometimes guys like Jalen Milroe, Trey Lance, right? Justin Fields, who we'll hit on a little bit. That athleticism for preseason football, the game's simple, and I'm playing against second and third stringers and stuff like that. Those are environments for them to thrive. But you know, when the regular season starts, things are going to be a lot different in the back end. They're going to have a plan for guys that can run. They're going to have all these creative blitzes, and you're going to have to be able to dissect people in the pocket surgically, right? And that's why I just say a little bit of like, let's just relax a little bit and see a little bit more here from the freak of nature, Jalen Milroe.
What if I don't feel like relaxing?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to relax, and that we'll see where it goes.
I have to do what you tell me to do.
Well, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't relax. Don't relax. All right, just be the asshole that you are, and then next week we'll watch the game again, and then I think we'll be able to make it better. Like, either you're going to be like, "Hey, I told you not to relax. He's the man," and maybe I'll be like, "Yeah, you're right. You were right," or I'll go, "No, see, look, we still need some things we got to work on that are quarterbacky that he's just not totally polished polished in yet. And that's where I'd like to see one more week of Jalen Milroe dropping back in the pocket a little bit.
All I heard there was I'm invited back for another week. I yell at Chris Sims next.
Oh, yeah, baby. NBC Sports Now, free 24/7 streaming channel. All the good stuff's there. It starts at 7 a.m. with me and Florio on PFT Live. We hand it off to Dan Patrick Show. He flips it to Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. People are pissed. Stugotz needs to show up more on that show. Then we got Fantasy Football Hour with Matthew Berry. And then, last but not least, the greatest show of them all, Chris Sims Unbuttoned. Also with Stugotz, and he actually shows up at this show. So good to have you. What's up, dude?
Wait, so my listeners are mad at me for not showing up to my show and hosting this show with you?
Yes.
So they're mad at me for
That's
that.
what we're getting from the comments, through NBC. You know, it's
Right.
we publicize Le Batard with Stugotz every day.
Right.
And the people want Stugotz, and you are not there sometimes. So, they feel like it's like false advertising, like you're trying to pull the old okey doke on them there.
The problem is when I'm there, we don't talk football. When I hang out with you, we always talk football. You know, I love talking football. I've also, fortunately for me, Sims, and hopefully you'll get to this place, okay? I have arrived at a place in my career after 20 years with Le Batard where I'll show up to that show whenever the I feel like showing up to that show. How does that sound? Okay?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Only in this business can you do that. I just show up when I want. But you can get away with it. That's fine. I can't believe he lets you get away with it. Right? Yeah. But I guess that's the relationship you have. You're not going to get away with that here, okay? Because if you do that crap with me and then I see you in person, I'm definitely putting you in a headlock, all right? So just so you know.
Well, listen, I'm not going to do that to you because you're giving me the thing that I want. You're giving me football. I want to talk football. And so we never do on our show. I also host, when I'm not doing this show and when I'm not doing the Le Batard show, I host Stupidity, and I also host a show, God Bless Football. Chris Sims has been a weekly part of that show for 4 years now. And so I'm happy to be doing this with him. Sims, I have to talk to you about the Jets because I got a text from you over the weekend. Listen, I have been a Jet fan for, let's just call it 40 years, okay?
Right.
They've probably been through, I don't know, 27, 28 head coaches over that 40 years, okay? And so, like, every couple of years, what you hear from people like you, experts like you, this is what you hear. The Jets are headed in the right direction. I've heard that 26 times since I've become a Jet fan.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. They're not headed in the right direction. They just have a new coach who has a new direction. That's all they have. And so I would appreciate you not saying, hey, like what the Jets are doing, headed in the right direction. Aaron Glenn, he's got the ship pointed in the right direction. No, he doesn't.
Hey, wait, first off, don't tell me what to say on my podcast, okay? All right, Stugotz. Second of all, you know what? The Jets are headed in the right direction. All right. I do like the way they looked. I do. There is something to be said about one, right? The physicality and the hustle I saw on both sides of the ball. It did pop out to me, right? Yeah. Running the football. Just busting through the line of scrimmage. Braylon Allen, Edwards, right? Something there. Not making it all about the quarterback. Oh, it's got to be the quarterback. They're going to play team football. And playing a lot of starters on both sides of the ball. So you get a look. And Green Bay played their starters too. So it wasn't like we were watching them going against, some choir team or something like that. So, yeah, I did. There's something to be said about the attitude, the physicality, just how everything looked together. There wasn't a ton of mistakes. You had guys pop like Tufele, right? Tufele. I want to get him. You got guys that popped. You could just tell everybody's buying into the Aaron Glenn culture. I think that's what excited me more than anything. So, yeah, and I think that there's talent there. The Jets are one of those teams that, I'd put a little asterisk next to. Didn't go to the playoffs this year, but could they be the surprise team that kind of jumps in that conversation this year? Yeah, I put the Jets on the short list of one of those teams with those capabilities.
Let me answer your question. They can't be the surprise team. It didn't work with Aaron Rodgers. It didn't work when they drafted Sam Darnold. It never works, and it's not going to work with Justin Fields. So, I mean, I wouldn't put an asterisk next to them at all. If there's a second team in that division where I would say, hey, maybe they'll surprise some people, the Bills are going to win that division. If there's a second team in that division that I would say, hey, they're going to make the playoffs, it would be the Patriots. That would be, for me at least.
I'm with you there. I would too. I would do that as well, but I think the Jets are right there. I do. Now, listen, Justin Fields, that was a good start. It was easy for him. I mean, it was a check down over the middle. It was basically another check down over the middle. The play he ran for the touchdown, right? The play was really to throw an out route to Garrett Wilson at the top of the screen. Yes. He was there. He should have thrown that ball, right? Those are things that I go, yeah, you got away with that in preseason week 1. I don't know if you're going to get away with that in regular season, week 1 and 2. You got to hit those type of plays when they're there, right? But nonetheless, it was a good start. He looked comfortable. And, like New England, to who you're using there, I get those kind of vibes. That's a little bit there. It's that Detroit Dan Campbell mentality. It's physicality. We're going to be good in all areas of the football team. We're not going to just make it about the quarterback all the time. And if he plays great, we're great. If he doesn't play great, we're not very good. They're not going to do that. And then I think the trickle-down effect of what you saw even from some of the backup quarterbacks to me and how well they function, Martinez and Cook, that also are just little inklings again to go, hey, they know what they're doing. Right? They're doing the right things. They look smooth. Operation was smooth. So, yeah, I thought it was a very, very positive start for the New York Jets.
At David Dave 87 on X, do the Jets finally have a quarterback?
I'm not.
The answer is no.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to write home and go, oh, man, they figured out all their issues here. Justin Fields, all of it. Right. No. Well, I mean, I think we all know what it is here. He's got to be a more consistent thrower. As far as in the pass game, can he carry the team that way? I think those are all the things we're not sure about with Justin Fields. We've seen little moments here and there in Pittsburgh and Chicago, but not for a guy that's a top 12 pick in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah, you expect to be able to do that game after game after game, and that's what we got to see. And that's why I'm like, I like what I saw, but I'm not ready to write home and go, well, the Jets they got it all figured out. I like the whole team. I like that I don't think they're going to make it about Justin Fields throwing the ball 35 times a game, but it was a good start. But yeah, there's still more to be seen from him and what he can do end of the half, 2-minute situations, carry the team when they're down by 2 touchdowns, and he's got to throw the ball every play. Those are the things we question about Justin Fields.
I like Aaron Glenn. I do. What I like most about Aaron Glenn, Chris, is he's a former Jet. He gets the pain of the Jet fan base. He understands it, and he wants to be the New York Jets head coach. There aren't many guys who wake up every morning saying to themselves, this is where I want to be. I want to be the Jets head coach. What I have some skepticism about is the last time I saw Aaron Glenn coach on an actual field in a real game, his defense gave up 40-plus points.
Yeah, I hear you that, but don't forget, context matters, right? And yes. that defense he had on that day, man, there were a lot of injuries. He wasn't playing with a full deck exactly. So he was trying to have to do things that I don't think he necessarily wanted to do to try to win that football game, and he got burned a little bit because of it. But I still think all in all, I think what you said is real. And how about this, Stugotz? Yeah, I know you love the Jets, but is this not the most quiet training camp we're having? No bullshit, no distractions. The only thing we've kind of heard is just I wish Justin Fields was a little sharper early on in training camp, but nothing else other than that. It's been about football, and I think that's the Aaron Glenn, part that he brings to the football team there.
I kind of like when they win off seasons, though. I got to be honest with you. I mean, they don't win anything else, so you might as well win it off season. You know, I like it loud before a Jet season because it's going to get quiet week 5. You know that. That's
well, yeah. You're doom and gloom. I've never seen a fan base that just kind of expects and can't wait for everything to fall apart, and then they all go, "Look, I told you."
Is someone like you telling me that they're pointed in the right direction? That's what we don't want.
I know.
Just let it happen on its own.
All right. Okay? Well, then don't bring up this game game. Let's not talk about the Jets the rest of the preseason. We'll dive into it in the regular season.
Rip them all you want. Just if you're optimistic about Justin Fields and the Jets, keep it to yourself, okay?
Okay, all right, sure.
Is that fair? Just like your optimism for Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. What'd you see over the weekend? That's your guy, Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, I think they were one of the teams that impressed me more than anybody, right? And again, I know it's preseason. I get it, right. Okay?
Who cares?
But but we've had a lot of fun talking about Trevor Lawrence, and I know you're not always a believer in him, and I understand people not. I get it. For what he was drafted, the way he was touted, everybody telling you he's generational and all that, he has not been that. We saw about a 10 to a 12-game stretch where he kind of fit that mold, and then other than that, we haven't seen anything close to that. So I understand all the criticism around the Jaguars there. Now, where I defend Trevor Lawrence a little bit is it hasn't been like the greatest situations around him either there in Jacksonville. So that's where I do have a little bit of a soft spot for him. But you hear things like when they talk about with quarterbacks, right? He was real decisive where he went with the ball, right? He knew where to go with the ball. There's different types of decisive. I heard that with Jaxson Dart a lot, and I want to go, right. Yeah, wait, but there was only one guy he was supposed to throw to, and he was open, and that's what you're supposed to do. Of course he was decisive, right? What I look at more decisive is wait, the first guy's not open. He knew right where to go to look for the second guy, and that guy wasn't open, and he seamlessly went to the third guy and hit him, and that was what I call decisive, knowing what he's seeing, going through the reads, and boom, reacting, right? Trevor Lawrence had a few of those plays where I was like, ooh, this looks a little different. His motion was much smoother. I've made fun of him in the past because he'll be real smooth, and at the last second he'll just be and go really fast. And you're like, what the hell was that? That was just a total spastic move, and the ball went, it was not accurate because of it. But liked him, liked Travis Hunter. Hunter was really close on both catches to make it. Exactly, right?
Yes.
That's what Brian Thomas Jr., we know he's a superstar. I think Liam Coen's going to bring Dyami Brown to another place that we haven't seen him go in his NFL career yet. So you like that. Plus, it looks like they're going to be able to run the ball with ATN and Tank Bigsby, who I think is better than ATN. So the rest of the receiving core is pretty good. So that was one of the things. Trevor looked good, and then the weapons that you just alluded to did pop to me, to Stugotz, to where I went, the Jags, I'm excited to watch them next week and to see where this goes, because they caught my eye a little bit in week one.
You and I both said last year that we thought Tank was the best running back on that team. He got injured at some point last season, then came back.
Exactly.
He's better than Travis at the end, isn't he?
I think he is, and I think that showed again. That I had no doubt watching that the other night. I like Etienne, don't get me wrong, but when Tank Bigsby gets in the game, there is real juice there. And to me, he's capable he runs hard. Yeah. He's capable of breaking tackles more. He's capable of big plays more that way. Yeah, I like it. But hey, the running back situation, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., Dyami Brown, Parker Washington, and then their tight end, Brenton Strange, is a guy that I think is going to pop up on a lot of people's radar as we go during the year here. Yeah, the Jags are one of those teams, another team where I'd go, yeah, they didn't make the playoffs last year. They weren't very good, but they're on the short list teams of what I go, watch out, they could be a real pain in the ass for people in 2025.
Just back to Trevor Lawrence for a second. This is how I feel. If you're a number one overall pick at that position, Chris, I don't care what situation you go to. If you're good, you'll make that situation better. The second you arrive in that city, Joe Burrow did it for the Bengals. If you're that kind of quarterback, you're going to make the city, the organization, and that team relevant. You're going to make them good. It doesn't matter what you're surrounded by. Now, granted, I think he started with Urban Meyer.
Yes, he did. Right.
Yeah, but then he got to Doug Peterson. Yeah. Peterson won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, for crying out loud.
I know, and he had a great first year with Doug Peterson. But just like Doug Peterson with the Eagles, it kind of went downhill after that. And it's just wait, where's the rest of the offense? Do we have anything else creative to add on to that? Then they had offensive line issues, and they couldn't run the ball at all last year. then he got beat up. I understand what you're saying. And again, that was one of the reasons during the draft process that year, I tried to pump the brakes on people with Trevor Lawrence. I liked what I saw. I know I took the L by putting Zach Wilson number 1, a.k.a. everybody else's number 2 quarterback. But yeah, there were some things there about Trevor Lawrence that I looked at to where I went, it's not a slam dunk. Let's see where it goes. He looked smooth. He looks like he's being coached. He looked like he knew where to go with the ball. He's going to be, for the first time, have some real creative answers under a guy like Liam Coen. And I think the other aspect is Liam Coen, like we saw with the Buccaneers last year, he knows how to run the freaking ball. And that's going to help a quarterback out and getting his little confidence as well. And then with those receivers, with the play action pass off of it, yeah, I'd go, the Jaguars to me got some potential that I do like. But Trevor's a big part of it. We'll see, Stugotz. You're right about that.
Last week, God bless football, you and I talked about the Broncos. We both said we love the Broncos. Sneaky pick out of the AFC. I'm not certain how sneaky they are. They have a rookie linebacker now, Sims, that you love. I'm not certain the Broncos are sneaking up on anyone anymore.
No, they're not sneaking up on anybody. And I think that's why Sean Payton made those comments last week. Like, this team's got to start believing that they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Right. I think he sees that, and he's going, wait, we got a young team. I don't know if they really realize how good they are. I don't know if we got enough guys in the locker room that have been on other teams that are Super Bowl caliber that they can sit here and go, hey, guys, we're damn good. This is as good as the Super Bowl team we were on, right? So maybe that's where Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga can bring that little, charisma, pizzazz to the football team. But there's a lot to like with the Denver Broncos. Hey, they played 49ers. The 49ers are chomping at the bit and got some talent there, but the Nick Bonnito kid, right? Nick Bonnito is a guy that I had in my top 5 edge rushers when he came out of Oklahoma a few years ago. He had a great year last year, was towards the top of the NFL in sacks. And I know you saw my text just watching that game. He pops. And they got a lot of crazy, physical, fast people on that Denver Bronco defense. I think that's what excites me there. And I certainly can see the Super Bowl potential in their roster and what they got going there with that defense and that quarterback they got right now.
What I saw in the text that you sent me and our producer here, Matt Casey, was that you were right about him. You just wanted to tell us that you were right about him.
Well, every now and then, I just got to say about that, and not that I'm right about everybody, but that was just a quick way to go, like, man, the things that I saw about him coming out in Oklahoma, they've translated. And yeah, he's real.
You could have sent the same text without saying you were right about it.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew that. You're new to the game, so I just wanted to make sure I was stating that clearly for you.
You're excited about Robert Saleh, the former Jets head coach, being the DC in San Francisco, aren't you?
I am. I mean, I'm excited about the 49ers and some of the young talent. You saw that game. Bo Nix was not comfortable early on. And not that they were playing all their starters, but he was not comfortable. And, I think that was great experience for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton, because you probably saw this in my text too. I did not get the sense that they understand, or Sean Payton totally understands, how to attack the Seattle 3 defense, right? And Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley being there in San Francisco, those are the inventors. Gus Bradley invented Seattle 3 up there with Pete Carroll. Robert Saleh worked underneath them. I think those are going to be, some great under-the-radar, difference makers in the NFL this year are those 2 coaches for the 49ers. Bo Nix was not comfortable. And off of that, they got to play the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Texans. And what do? They all play Seattle 3. So I think that's where it's good. But the other thing that's Saleh, you see him on the sidelines. His energy is infectious, right? It might not always work as a head coach. I get that. But as a D coordinator, it does bring juice to your football team. And I think between him and Gus Bradley and some of the creative wrinkles that they can throw in with that Seattle 3, right? I think the 49ers defense, although young, can be a real pain in the ass for the NFL this year. And you saw that a little bit with Bo Nix struggles early on in the game the other night.
Yeah, I see your text. I get confused as to how Sean Payton doesn't know how to attack anything. I mean, that's his job to know.
Well, right? Hey, Sean Payton's one of the best play callers we've had. I know. Right? But Seattle 3 and all that, and again, too, this is where it's hard. Hey, at times, they don't maybe not want to show everything they got to attack that, right? Because they don't want to show the teams that they do play Seattle 3 that, oh, look, we have this, be prepared for it. So I think there's that aspect there. But no, Seattle 3 is not easy, right? right, to attack. And there are definitely still some teams that don't quite understand the rules and exactly how it works. And it's hard to get big plays against that defense because they know what teams try to do to attack some of their weaknesses, and because they play that defense so much, they're kind of ready for teams to do that. And that's kind of the brilliance of it. If you've got a talented team, it's tough to crack that Seattle 3. If it's not super talented, then you need to do more than Seattle 3, but they're going to be a great addition for the 49ers.
We're both really excited to see Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. I think that's a sneaky team in the NFC. You sent the text over the weekend, so comfortable, not scared in the pocket anymore. What changed for Bryce Young?
I think just that end of the year last year where he got some confidence to finally go, wait, we moved the ball, we scored some points, I belong. Why was I making things so hard, before I got benched for Andy Dalton and all that? But yeah, I always got the sense watching last year before he got benched preseason, he was always very jumpy. I felt in the pocket, very concerned about taking a big hit, getting injured, just not comfortable there. But I watched him the other night, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, he looks like he's, a 5-year vet now. Very smooth, moves well, eyes down the field, right? He is slick. He looked good. That's the biggest thing there. Again, it wasn't eye-popping, but it's just the comfort level and the way they executed their offense and marched down the field was very impressive. And yeah, like you said, it's a big year for Dave Canales and Bryce Young and that Panthers organization.
Sims, I was so impressed with the rookie quarterback play over the weekend. You know what I did?
What?
I came up with, we'll do it next, a top 5 list. My top 5 quarterbacks that are starting, that won't be starting by week 7. Next.
Oh, yeah, we're back here at Chris Sims Unbuttoned. See, at CSimsQB, at Stugotz790. Which coach gives the strongest Stugotz energy? I'll hang up and listen. Ooh, so they want to know what coach gives the strongest Stugotz energy. Wow.
I like it.
That is a good one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's loud and reckless with the things that they say on a regular basis?
And not totally accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, so
doesn't that's not usually honestly, like, you're not quirky all the way like this person. But like you talk a little bit more demonstrative,
right?
But in some ways, because the way your brain thinks, Mike McDaniel might be the guy that gets
Mike
the energy.
McDaniel.
Yeah.
How did that guy went from genius to crazy?
Well, you're kind of crazy, and some people might think it's a genius, but I think you're crazy, and some people think it's genius. So I think that's the one I go with. Plus, you think outside the box a little bit. Right? Yes. You're a little different that way. Like, you're not one of the Harbaughs. You're not McDermott. You're not Andy Reid.
No.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that, maybe, I don't know. Maybe
not
you
Dan
and
Campbell. I am.
Maybe you and Pete Carroll at a Deadhead concert. Maybe that'll work.
Pete Carroll. Yeah, I'd like to think I have the energy of Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I really can see that. I can see that.
Pete Carroll how old is Pete Carroll?
72, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, but here's the thing. Carroll has that energy at 72. When I'm 72, Sims, I will be shriveled up, sitting next to you, watching football, and not doing this anymore. I'll have no energy by the time I'm 72. I think McDaniel's the guy quirky out of the box,
Yeah, I think that one, actually there was, I had another one here that kind of just hit me a little bit, and I lost my train of thought.
Sirianni.
See, exactly.
Yes.
That's who I was going to say.
Yes,
You definitely have a little zero. I give zero fucks. I'm Nick Sirianni. I'll yell at the fans or whatever. Yes. So, yes, that was the other one. Look at that. Yeah, good. Way to call that one. I totally choked on the pressure
Eagles
there.
fans for not cheering Sirianni. They wanted him fired after week 3 last year. Now he's the greatest coach in Eagles history.
Yeah, no. And now we're going down to Philadelphia week 1. I'm just hoping the fans don't kill me. Nobody in all of sports media talks higher about the Eagles, but I say one guy's really good and not great, and the whole fan base hates me. So that's going to be interesting. But literally nobody says more positive things about the all-star team in which Howie Roseman is built and how great of a coach Nick Sirianni is and that team. All they hear is that I just won't call the quarterback great, and I call him really, really good.
and you're surprised by that.
I don't know why I am. You're right. I should know.
They don't hear the compliments. They hear the one
know.
bad thing you're going to have to say, and that's about it. Is Howie Roseman the best doing it right now?
I don't think there's any doubt. There's no question. You saw this on my text. Did you see Darius Cooper in Philadelphia the other night, the receiver?
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
Again, they have guys just falling out of the tree in Philadelphia. And he looked like he was A.J. Brown Jr. out of Tarleton State. I was extremely impressed. Him, Wilson at receiver. I mean, they just got a lot of things working there right now. He is definitely the best in the game, totally on top of the game right now.
All right, Sims, are you ready for my top 5 here?
Yeah.
I have top 5 quarterbacks who are slated to start, who won't be starting because of what I saw over the weekend. They won't be starting by week 7, okay?
Okay, I like it.
All right?
Yeah, we definitely got some this year.
Listen, the backup is the most popular guy in the building, right? I mean, no one knows that more than you, Sims. Come on.
Depends how good of a backup you are, right? I've been such a good backup that I was like the most popular. And that's why I ended up taking Brad Johnson's job my second year in the NFL, only a year and a few games after they won the Super Bowl. That was when, I was the most popular backup. But post-spleen, I lost my spleen backup. Man, I feel like most of the locker room was like, man, I hope fucking guy doesn't get in the game.
He's got no spleen.
He's not that good anymore. I don't know if we want him out there.
Even though having no spleen doesn't impact how Chris Sims threw a football at all.
It did.
No spleen, don't want that guy.
It did. It affected me. All right, so let's hear it. Let me hear it. Who's your first one here?
All right, number 5, Anthony Richardson.
Not shocked.
I mean, it's a combination of Daniel Jones is sitting there, and this guy just doesn't know how to stay healthy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it.
Exactly. The only challenge I throw here is I'm not so sure Daniel Jones might not just start week 1. You know, I mean that's the only problem here, right? But I know what you're saying, right? Anthony Richardson, you can't stay on the field. Right, and here he is, boom, another chance to play and get some reps under his belt, boom, gets blindsided. You saw in my text messages, right? This is where we've talked about C.J. Stroud, other quarterbacks. This is where you have to empower the quarterback, and he has to be all over pass protection. There's a reason you don't see Josh Allen or Mahomes or Lamar or Burrow ever get hit like that, right? Because they know, like, wait, the protection is doing this. I better have my head on a swivel over here. This is a bad spot for me. Richardson, hey, got caught off guard. It was a little creative defense by the Baltimore Ravens, but he got totally lambasted right there, and he's got to see that. He definitely does. And to your point too, like Daniel Jones looks good. Daniel Jones fits that offense really well. Daniel Jones is a more consistent thrower than Anthony Richardson, and not that much less of an athlete. Daniel Jones is a freak athlete. He's a big dude. So, Stugotz, there's a part of me that's like, I'm not so sure Daniel Jones just won't be the starter week 1, but I hear what you're saying here all the way.
That's funny. These are just guys that have to start by week 7 for me to be right, okay? Week 1 is a tad aggressive.
Okay, all right.
A bit aggressive.
All right.
Number 4 on this list, Sam Darnold. It's going to be interesting to see what Sam does coming from Minnesota, going to Seattle, leaves Kevin O'Connell, now with a new offense, new coordinator, all that kind of stuff. And Jalen Milroe looked really, really good over the weekend. And so I have Milroe replacing Darnold by week 7.
Well, if they don't get off to a good start and Darnold doesn't look good, I mean, Jalen Milroe is the kind of guy that's going to get the fan base just frothing at the mouth, and they're going to say, get in there, right?
Yes,
and there's got to be some questions about that Seahawks offense. I know the defense will be good. But, no DK Metcalf, right? No more Tyler Lockett. He's gone.
Right.
What'll Cooper Kupp going to look like? Valdez Scantling, is he going to help out? Can they actually block and run the ball, right? They're going to run that Kyle Shanahan offense with Kubiak at the helm. It's going to be an interesting one there. But I think Sammy Darnold's going to be good enough to – he'll hold them off later than week 7, if not the whole year. That's what I'll say right here. Okay.
All right. I call him Sammy, by the way.
Yeah, we're friends. Some call him Sam. I know him. I call him Sammy. All right.
All right. I got you. Number 3 here. Listen, I don't know if it's going to be Jaxson Dart. I don't know if it's going to be Jameis Winston. I just know Russell Wilson won't be the starting quarterback for the Giants by week 7.
I totally agree with you. Totally. And if Jaxson Dart, I mean, we know Russell Wilson. The Giants have been pretty firm that Russell Wilson is going to start the year. But, man, the fans, they want to see Jaxson Dart. He continues to play like he did the other day and showing he can run the offense and hit people when they're open. I would think so, too. And the Giants have such a tough early schedule to where I don't expect them to be, 4-1 or anything like that. I expect, maybe 2-4, 2-3, and that means, it could be Jaxson Dart time there. So I'm with you. It's inevitable. Jaxson Dart will be the backup to start the year. To me, when they start the regular season, the big question is will Jameis Winston be there? Right? I wouldn't be shocked if he's not there and they just have Tommy DeVito as the practice squad third string guy. That's kind of how I could see this all shaking out.
He became more expendable over the weekend.
Exactly right. And I feel like that's what they wanted to do anyways. So as long as Jaxson Dart shows he's capable of being the backup / starter, that kind of guy, I think it puts Jameis Winston in limbo a little bit.
Chris, he has to be good. Jaxson Dart has to be good. Can you, Joe Schoen passed on Shedeur Sanders. He has to be good.
Well, not only passed on Shedeur Sanders, traded up right into the first round to get him, gave away assets. So they're telling you they really, really believe in the guy. And I don't know if there was a whole lot of teams that were going to trade up into the round to get this guy either. So, they've put themselves on the limb here, and they got to make it work. You're right about that, Stugotz.
All right, number 2, Sam Howell is sitting there. Sam Howell has starting experience. Their starting quarterback has no starting experience in the NFL. I have J.J. McCarthy being benched before Week 7 for Sam Howell.
Wow. I will totally disagree with that shit right there. I say that. All right. I think, I have faith in J.J. McCarthy. I do like J.J. And he looked good this weekend. He did. Right. I mean, his body looks good. He looks like he's thicker, stronger. Right, he's very comfortable. I've always thought he's really going to fit the Kevin O'Connell offense. Kevin O'Connell, I just think, is too good to let him fail. He's going to manage him the right way. I also think there's a lot of talent around him too, Stugotz. And the one thing that, again, just like a little gleam into watching preseason football, watching that Vikings game against Houston, the one thing they kept bringing up, and this, they got a new offensive line there. It's a good offensive line. They drafted a guy in the first round. They're going to run the ball more this year. I think you're going to see a steady dose of Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, not only because I think they know they have to if they want to go to the next level in the playoffs, but to help out their young quarterback who's basically a rookie. So that's the first one there that I will totally disagree with you on your top 5 here.
All right. Well, number 1, I have a feeling you'll disagree with this one as well. Chris, you know why Nick Mullins chose the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I knew you were going to go here.
Because Trevor Lawrence is their starting quarterback, and Nick Mullins only goes to places where he knows he's going to get a couple of starts, okay? And so I have Trevor Lawrence. I totally made that up, by the way. I have Trevor Lawrence being benched, okay, by Week 7, and Nick Mullins replacing him.
Have we come full circle in life, right? I mean, your and I's relationship started because I used to say a Jacksonville quarterback and Blake Bortles was the 70th best quarterback in football. And now you're saying Trevor Lawrence is no damn good, and we've switched reversals, and I'm like, wait, why? Well, come on. So we've come full circle in our friendship here.
We have, yeah.
I get what you're saying. I do.
Oh, he's terrible.
And if things fall apart and we get to, Week 10 and whatever, I don't expect it. I don't.
Right. But Nick Mullins is one of those popular backups that fan bases get behind, right?
He definitely is. And he can always look good in the preseason and do all that. But, we've seen enough in the regular season that it's not that special. Liam Coen was brought there because of Trevor Lawrence. They first pick, ton of money. Like you said before, he hasn't lived up to expectations. That's one where if it did happen, I'd have a hard time thinking it happens Week 7 or before, right? And from what I saw there, I think he's going to prove you wrong. I think he is. I think he's going to shove it where the sun doesn't shine on you, Stugotz. And I'm expecting a good year for Trevor Lawrence.
Perhaps the problem is Nick Mullins being the backup. Now, what if this plays out? Jameis Winston does leave the Giants and goes to Jacksonville.
Well, it gives anybody more confidence, but I don't think it changes either way. I think they're going to give Trevor Lawrence every inkling here to get comfortable, make this happen, all that. So your top 5 is pretty good. I get the thoughts for most of them. I do. 5, 4, and 3, like, got a very good chance of happening. 1 and 2, you've extended yourself there. We'll see. I'm not buying in on that one, all right?
I was tempted to go Mahomes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I'm telling you, tough schedule, and Gardner Minshew, the most popular backup in the NFL, is sitting right there.
Hey, one thing, Mahomes only threw 2 balls the other night. One was a penalty. The other one was the touchdown pass, right? But the one thing I saw from Mahomes is he let it go. When he threw the ball both times. Like, Mahomes can have a little bit of a habit of, like, throwing the changeup and just dropping it in a spot, which, again, how can you really argue the results, right? But there are times in the last year or two where I've gone, where's the Mahomes laser beam, right? Where is that? Like, that was the time for it. And he uncorked a few the other night to where I went, ooh, okay, maybe Mahomes going to throw the ball with a little more authority this year. I was excited for that. But, yeah, I don't think Mahomes is getting benched. Sorry there, buddy.
All right, man. Listen, I enjoyed this very much. I appreciate you having me do it. We'll be back on Wednesday, and you invited me back next week already. So this is very exciting for me. Le Batard Show fans, get over it.
Yep, clear your schedule.
We're talking football. We had football over the weekend, man. This is a great thing.
We got football. I'm stealing you away from Le Batard. The hell with that. You're mine. Chris Sims Unbuttoned with Stugotz, and you'll actually get Stugotz here. That's going to be the beauty of it all. Where you go to Le Batard with Stugotz, you don't get them. So I don't know what you guys are doing over there. But no, seriously, thanks for driving the ship. You the man. I really enjoyed it. All right.
I'm staying. I'm never leaving.
Yep, it's really good. Awesome single picture there behind you, too. We're going to work on the background, okay? All right, so we're going to get that a little bit better. But we'll get you up to Chris Sims type of talent here in the background and get you up to my level, all right? So keep working, okay, kid?
I asked your boy, Matt, to send me the unbuttoned logo to put in the back. He sent me nothing. My wife hung this up early this morning. I mean, she's done working for the week. I mean, listen, I will be in a studio on Wednesday, okay?
Okay, good. All right, or you got it. Stugotz is back Wednesday. You know we're going to be still breaking down the preseason. Send in your questions. You know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. Stugotz, you the man. Homies, we'll see you Wednesday. Peace out. Clap it up, mofos. Stugotz doesn't even know that, but he's going to learn. Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Chris Sims Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.